Alrighty, welcome. Bienvenidos a the No Exit podcast. This day we have Brian to my left. We have Richard at the 11 o'clock position. We have Sal. We have the Prez at the 3 o'clock position, and Tom on the. Oh, it's Celeste in her car, dans la voiture, and Tom on the buttons. So anybody is free to enter. If you're watching us live, you can enter topics and put them in. And I have to read the intro. So this dog-eared, ratty one, no exit comes from Sartre. That's what you say if you speak French, Sartre. But it'll be in French first, and then it'll be in English, and then you'll get the gist of the thing. Alors c'est l'enfer. Je n'y aurais jamais cru. Tu te souviens de tout ce qu'on nous a raconté sur les chambres de torture, des fûts et le soufre, le man brûlant, des histoires de bonnes femmes. Pas besoin de tissonniers chauffés au rouge. L'enfer, c'est les autres. So this is hell. I'd never have believed it. You remember all we were told about the torture chambers, the fire and brimstone, the burning marl. Old wives' tales. There's no need for red hot pokers. Hell is other people. And I'm not stuck here with you. You're stuck here with me for the next hour. So we have a cornucopia of topics this evening, but the first one I'm going to give extemporaneously, as I said, because I love that word because it's 6 syllables, is technology. You know, when it works, it works great. When it doesn't work at all. Because I was delayed getting here like a dummy. I forgot I needed petrol for my car, and the chip in my ATM card is failing. And so it's when I put it in the reader, it said EMV chip failure. So I took it out, but I pressed the button for debit outside, and then it said I could fill up. But when it was done, I didn't get an option for a receipt, so I had to go inside and make sure I wasn't stealing from the place. The woman said, no, it went through. So I was completely on the outside. And that made me think back to the Challenger disaster. Was that in 86 or 87? 86. Because the incipient, I think it was the 6th TDRS satellite was on there, and it got destroyed, which pushed GPS back by 6 months. And so that was a tragic failure. And it was like when the Iridium satellites failed. Because then all those people who had those phones, but Iridium is in the platinum group, so there are 6 metals that are in there. That's all. Okay, so what's our next topic?
Well, can we comment on yours?
Oh, go ahead. Fire away.
Are you familiar with the concept of de-improvement?
It sounds like it makes a lot of sense these days.
It does.
Well, it sounds like, who was it, Thoreau, that said simplify?
De-improvement means that we live in an era where somebody invents something, and then it catches on. Example, Facebook.
Sure.
Right, yeah.
Well, once it catches on, then it's not one person who invented something, it becomes a company. So what you do is you hire people to improve it. So you say to someone, you are on this staff to think up an improvement. Now, obviously, your mind goes like this. Well, if I don't think of an improvement, I'm out of a job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I got to think of something. So you come up with what you think is an improvement, but all the people on Facebook are, why did they mess this up? It was fine the way it is. De-improvement.
Yeah.
So we live in an age of de-improvement. They'll come out with new versions of programs.
I get new user interfaces all the time on my phone. That's de-improvement.
And that's what they they have you beta test it without even knowing that you're beta testing it.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, that it's like the federal government and a budget. You have to spend everything in your budget, because if you don't, they're going to cut it to that level. Said you didn't need that money, so you waste it on new office furniture that was new last year.
Yeah. Right.
But I think it was in one of the 2001 series books, but I think it was 3001.
2001?
3001 was the 4th book. It was the Final Odyssey. 3000.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and where they talked about a spaceship that was, all the parts of it were so complex that the people on board couldn't repair them because they were just so complex, and nobody had an overarching one idea of what's going on. And that's what that goes to, that what is it? The more education you get, you realize you know less because you get more and more narrow till you get to nothing.
Right, well, one of the things in the Bible is the book of Daniel, which basically says that in the future there's going to be situations that are so complicated that nobody can understand them in the end times. So there's back around the late 1800s, people could know all the categories of knowledge in the world and be an expert at all of them. But after that, no one person could do that because after that, people couldn't know every area.
I mean, that's just a slippery slope, though. I mean, you can't really say that. I mean, Thomas Jefferson was smarter than every one of us put here together, you know?
Right.
And in fact, he and John Adams died on the same day. And John Adams was 91, Jefferson was 84. And John Adams said, Jefferson survives independence forever, even though they knocked heads a lot. Yeah. But even though he didn't know that Jefferson had died several hours earlier.
So here's an example of an improvement. And I ask you, is this an improvement?
Okay.
My friend took me to the dentist. And then got off the thruway. We went down transit. I went to the dentist. 2 weeks goes by. And he said, I looked at my bank statement. And even though on the thruway exit there was no toll barrier, I got a notice on my bank statement that I was charged a toll. So I asked my bank, I said, well, who charged it? And they gave me the phone number and everything. And I called up and it was the New York State Thruway Authority. And he said, there was no toll booth. And he said, we don't use toll booths anymore. He said, I don't have an Easy Pass. He said, you don't need an Easy Pass. And then he said, here's what we do now. We have a camera and it takes a picture of your license plate when you go on the off-ramp. And then you get charged the fee, which is 50 cents, plus $2 for the people who set the system up.
Well,
you follow that?
Yeah, and
wow.
You know,
Yes.
I don't know.
Where's this at?
This was on the transit exit.
Yeah, 49. Because
I don't normally come from this area. Normally I'm coming from north of here, pretty much.
that is
Well,
north of
there's
here.
signs up that tell you that's what's going to happen. I have to, which is,
Yeah,
I have an Easy Pass, and I have an Easy Pass for just that reason. I remember some time ago getting charged, and I forgot that once the toll booth came down, which was some time ago. But they tell you, you know, the toll booth is not here, but there is, you know, a charge, and it gives you a toll-free number to call.
yeah. It says no Easy Pass. We will bill you. It says it right there.
Yeah.
I mean, it says it right there. So
Right.
your friend should
It
have
says it
known.
there.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
got before my father passed, and I would use his vehicle to go places. He'd say, "Brian, why am I I keep getting these bills in the mail for Grand Island? What are you doing?" And I had no idea that his Easy Pass was expired and whatever. We just thought it was working the whole time. So they will bill you, and they will bill you, and they will keep billing you.
Well, but at the same time,
Yeah.
it's straightforward to get the Easy Pass.
Yeah, of course.
And then you save a lot. You
Yeah.
know, like people that live on Grand Island pay 7 cents.
Yeah.
7 cents to go over the bridges.
Yeah.
So why would they prefer you to get the Easy Pass? Because you keep money on deposit?
Yes.
They can use that deposit.
Well, it increments at $25, and when you get to $5, it just repletes again automatically. So you have to enter a bank statement. So I don't.
How much do you keep in your deposit?
No, 25 is flat rate. I thought because that's what I've always been charged
Yes.
from
Yeah.
25 years ago.
Oh, you can't keep more than 25 in your deposit?
No, it'll just keep withdrawing. Like say,
Wait, that doesn't make sense. You can't keep more than 25 because it'll just keep withdrawing? Doesn't make sense.
As you use
Yeah.
it up,
yeah.
once you use it up,
You
then-
can't send them $100?
No.
No,
Okay.
but that's the thing. Like if you go to the end of the
No.
throughway, it's like $12, and so if that puts you under, they just pull it. They just reload it again, and also
Oh, they take it out of your account?
yes.
Oh, you don't have to send it to them?
No,
Right,
it's
right.
automated. It's
Yeah.
automated. It's automated. And also, your Easy Pass can't be used elsewhere. You have to make sure. Like in South Carolina or Florida, a New York Easy Pass won't work, even though they call it Easy Pass. But I think it works on the Pennsylvania Turnpike and also in Mass, in the Mass Turnpike.
So you think that's an improvement?
And yeah, it'll
I
work
do.
on some other things because I took a road trip with my grandson and I put I did have to pay some tolls on card, but it's odd where the passes work. It's not consistent. And we went from New York to New Mexico. And I could see when the printout came, or when you log into your EasyPass account, it shows you the various places where it will go.
Yeah.
Now,
So,
one of our
I
viewers.
do want to say one thing though before I forget that has nothing to do with this. In Jason's reading, the French translation, bon femme is traditional. Bon is good. Femme is woman. It ain't no old wives. I don't know where that came from.
Des histoires de bonne femme.
It's either good stewardship or good housewife or good cook or something like that.
No, it's just
So
that's the
I had to
phrase.
stand up for the girl.
But that's the French that the bonnes femmes are the histoire de bonnes femmes is old wives' tales. Just like stepmother was marâtre, which sounds so bad. Now they call them the belle-mère. So it's just an intricacy of it's euphemistic, and it's a language thing.
Where are the viewers viewing from?
Yeah, I think
face-
if you look that up though,
Face,
I mean it might be a traditional thing, but it sounds
Sorry.
a little off-putting
Well, if you have,
when Vaughn is definitely the French word for good.
Well, because
No,
I see
I
there's a
read
live
French.
chat, so I was wondering where that was coming from.
I mean, read the original Frankenstein from 1818, and you'll see the way Shelley wrote, I quit that location. Well, we don't say that this day. Or they might say that in the UK, but it's very idiosyncratic. So
Yeah.
just because you rail against the clouds doesn't mean the clouds aren't going to rain.
Nah.
well, remember
Sure.
Reality Winner?
Yeah.
Okay, so she was a translator. She went to school to study Farsi, etc. And she very quickly discovered that, all right, so she graduated. She could speak Farsi. Okay, Reality, your job now is to listen in on all the cell phone conversations we're eavesdropping and write them out as best you can and using your shorthand. She very quickly learned there's a lot of phrases that they don't teach you in school.
Absolutely.
You pick it up on the job as you go, or yeah,
Or maybe it just
Colloquialisms.
came into
Yeah.
vogue in that
Yeah.
neighborhood.
right.
And,
Yeah.
well, I recall back in New Jersey when I was a med student, so this is 25 years ago, there was a guy that would come in a lot to the emergency department, and he was an illiterate Egyptian fellow, and it was just coincidental that his accent, his Arabic that he spoke, there was one of the secretaries spoke the same one. If George wasn't there, this dude couldn't talk to anybody. He couldn't read anything. You couldn't have somebody write it down. And if you had the translation on the phone, they wouldn't understand what he was saying. That's being language locked. So, anybody got anything else?
Yes.
Can we move on?
Who said that?
I did.
I find that surprising from you.
I mean, I think we discussed it adequately. I don't think there needs to be more discussion out. That's just my opinion.
Okay, so you didn't even have to say that
Okay.
because you're the next topic. Love your enemies, part 3.
Okay, so we actually got to backtrack a little bit because we've had a lot of issues on the show where I don't even know if I want to go there right now.
Well,
I mean,
as I
there's-
put it in the invitation, Vanessa no longer comes to the show because she couldn't handle it. Would you agree with that?
she says that's not the reason. She believes that she's handling it the way a woman would.
That's kind of insulting to women.
Well, I mean, it's identifying with a bigger group, right?
Well, I mean,
But who knows if that's an accurate representation.
I don't. Well, so see, do you mind if I talk about what we talked about, Sal?
Sure.
Sal wants us to be nicer, but I said that's the whole key to.
Look who just joined us. How's that for coincidence?
Well,
that the whole point is conflict. What was that?
I don't know.
Oh, it was all the comments.
Well, I would think that I don't imagine we can hate people we don't know, but we can certainly hate what they do. And I'm a big fan of that. It's come up a couple of times, and I say, well, I don't know the person. I cannot hate someone I don't know, but I can certainly be opposed and repulsed by whatever actions they have, right? And so if you want to say hate your enemies, I don't know.
Love
if
your
they're-
enemies.
You know, and I ain't going to say that. I'm just going to say I'm neutral about people I don't know. I don't have a feeling one way or another, but I can certainly either embrace or repel their philosophy, their ideology, or their actions, and I don't believe in that. So as a result, you distance yourself from people who engage in people in actions and deeds and ideologies that don't line up with your own personal values. And I would hate to have that misconstrued as a personal hate, right? But you can certainly hate, because that same person could change their mind about anything.
But hate is such a strong emotion. I mean, I don't think I hate anything per se. You know, that it's like the opposite of love isn't hate, it's boredom. So
well, it came
I'm
up
not
with
gonna go there with that one. 'Cause
it came up with the Charlie Kirk shooting. Some people said you can dislike the fact that he was murdered.
yes.
You know, you can denounce it. At the same time, it's okay to denounce the ideas he professed.
Mm-hmm.
Separate the two.
Indeed.
Yes.
But or can they? I mean, you know, people say words matter,
They do.
and that's why say sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me.
Well,
People don't live that.
I think it's also all about
I have to disagree with that.
what you say, but how you say it. Understand, like the delivery could be aggressive. One word can be taken differently with the way it's delivered, aggressively or lovingly or however. So, yeah, sticks and stones, but as well as delivery and how those words are said.
Dihib That's what the Pharaoh said, or the mummy said. Dihib
Okay.
Dihib
So take, for example, Charlie Kirk.
Yeah.
Okay. So he would often go to campuses and he'd say, I want to have a discussion where we sit down and listen to what each other says.
Right.
Okay, well, that's an applaudable thing. At the same time, he had a group on every campus, and when a speaker would come on the campus that Charlie didn't approve of, he would say to the group, go to the event and make noise with whatever you can so that they cannot talk.
Oh,
So you see
really?
the difference between words and actions?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That would be an example.
Well, I believe that if you squash the discussion, that means you're afraid of what you might hear.
Yeah.
And in squash, you mean...
I would agree
Yeah, I know
with
what you
that.
mean by
And it means a relinquishment of control. It's not necessarily squashed, but we have to understand that legislation is a compilation of words. So relations are compilations of words that other people have put together to determine how you're going to live.
Exactly.
Right? So, you know, I was the one. I'm one of those people who said, you know, it's tragic in the fact that this person was murdered and left a family, you know, without their father, husband. But the way he died cannot excuse the way he lived. So, yes, tragic, and it shouldn't happen to anybody.
I think that's
it's
the bottom line
happened
true point.
to a number of leaders. But when you go on his show, when you listen to his show, or you Google his quotes, he was, spewing bile. As far as I'm concerned, it was so intolerant, and people who support that have managed to spin it, if you will, and use what people call. I think it was interesting. Brian talked about the tone. There's a thing, tone policing. It's a tactic that many people use.
Sure.
To try and either diminish the opinion or advance the opinion or whatever.
Yes, I agree.
Well,
Yeah.
What do you think about what Governor Hochul said when she was criticized by a politician from, I think it was, I can't remember the state, maybe Georgia, where she had released a prisoner who was in jail because ICE was coming to get him, and he went to Georgia and raped and killed a 13-year-old girl. And the politician was extremely upset with Governor Hochul over it. And Governor Hochul was very pleasant and spoke well, but the content seemed to be lacking as far as her responsibility in the situation.
I don't have a comment for that because I didn't hear her. So
me neither.
I would leave that up to another discussion. I'd have to review and go back and look at that.
And
I think we have to be very careful. There are people who are being targeted that should not be, and wasn't the original purpose of what was supposed to happen. And I just posted a thing about, someone sent me a pop-up about ICE breaking into an apartment building in South Chicago and bringing out American citizens and saying this is a raid. It's got nothing to do with immigration. Do you have a warrant? Well, what are they going to do? If you're an American citizen, what are they going to do? I don't know where they're going to send you. If a Native American,
they're going to
where are they going to send you? You were here originally.
They're going to trample on your rights. What they're going to do.
Plunder and kill it.
The one comment I've been trying to put in is, I saw a meme that said when Mr. Rogers died, there was no context that had to be referred to when talking about what he did.
Yeah.
Because that was the thing versus Charlie Kirk. It's all the context is needed. Yeah, I say. Because if I really say great replacement theory and Charlie Kirk is the new MLK, how offensive are those? Those are totally stupid and offensive. And that weird Stephen Miller, that's what they call him, Weird Stephen. They call him Weird Stephen Miller.
Who's the they?
In the White House.
Oh.
He's the deputy chief of staff, and they call him Weird Stephen. He's that weird. And he is an avowed racist. He wants a white America, period.
Wow.
And that's why the people have this bogeyman, this false theory of the great replacement theory that that all the millions and millions and millions of immigrants, legal and illegal, are pushing white people out of the way, and they're replacing the white people. Yeah, it's not borne out by statistics.
He said ideally in America, we should only have something like 4 million people, some obnoxious number that if you emptied every state, that wouldn't be enough people to go in every state and occupy it. So, the replacement theory is old, and they keep bringing it up, and you
hear a lot of the same arguments that were from 100 or more years ago. You hear the same arguments in the paper that it's like, so we don't learn from previous experiences. So
you're doomed to repeat it.
Yeah.
Richard, living without certainty.
Yeah.
Oh, this is an interesting thing that I came across. And it's connected to you, Jason. Because a couple weeks ago, you made a statement that totally floored me. You said, Nietzsche, you can dismiss half of everything Nietzsche said because he was insane. Now, I know people who've devoted their lives to studying Nietzsche. So my friend Melissa Ragona, she's a graduate student. So she has devoted her life to studying Nietzsche's works. And my friend Stanley, graduate student, devoted his life to studying Nietzsche's works. And I thought, gee, now Jason thinks half of everything that Nietzsche said is wrong.
Okay.
So lo and behold, I discovered that there's this text that just came out, a book. I'm calling everything text, by a person named Bernard Redman. And he said, and the name of the book is called Nietzsche, An Affirmation of Life. So here's what he said. He said, Nietzsche thoroughly showed how all truth is based on probability, that there is no certainty. Everything is probably true, including that I'm going to die.
Right.
Because you don't know if some invention will come up that will preserve me indefinitely, right? But
So
it's
that's
very,
why
very,
Jesus
very,
Christ.
So that's why it's probably.
Which is
yeah.
called
So it's
Jesus
very, very
Christ.
small. But there's always a small percentage you could be wrong, or it could be a high percentage that you
Sure.
could be wrong. So then Nietzsche approached the subject of, well, now that you know this, that all truth is based on uncertainty, just probability. How are you going to live your life? How are you going to know you're living the best life possible? And so Nietzsche said, very simple. Stay vital, stay creative, and stay strong. So what he meant by those things is that if you lead a creative life, remember his theory of the Superman? You ever hear that? Nietzsche had a thing called the Superman.
Explain that to me, please.
Well, that's perfect, yeah. The Superman is somebody who realizes that life is uncertain and still does things.
Right.
Create paintings, creates music. Right?
Freedom is more important than the risk.
In other words, you use your time to invent things, knowing that in the ultimate scheme of things, it might all disappear when the universe vanishes.
Right.
See, so Nietzsche emphasized to people that they should all become supermen. They should not retreat from the world, but they should engage in it.
Right.
Knowing that they're pushing a rock uphill, and every morning that rock is going to be back down in front of their door, and they got to do it all over again.
I don't believe that.
I know you don't.
But
I don't believe that life is just a series of pushing up a hill, because I believe that it's not going to necessarily end in death. There may be a continuation forever. So I believe there is a continuation forever. So therefore, I think even though we're given daily problems, but they all vary. Like you have different problems every day.
Yeah, the expression against the hell, I feel like that's saying there's always a struggle. Sure, some days are tougher than others, but I don't like to think that I'm always struggling.
indeed, yeah.
There's a man who struggles a lot.
I mean,
but I won't admit it.
I do. I struggle a lot, but I don't want to say that every day is a struggle. I don't agree. Respectfully.
I have an analogy, believe it or not. I thought about when I was working, because I'm an ER doctor by training, and I'd see other docs that would have various problems, and I said, well, if I had experienced that problem, how would I fix it? But I realized by what I did, the problems didn't occur. I didn't make the struggles for myself like they did. They were their own worst enemies. And that's the thing. When you do what you do and you do it earnestly, I mean, good or bad, whatever gets done, whatever you do the best job you can. If it's washing dishes, or if it's grilling a burger, or if it's raking leaves, do the best job you can.
Yeah.
Well, I took pride in working for DoorDash and Walmart as a delivery driver, because I try to pay attention to detail and give a good service to the people I was serving. But I wasn't proud of the company, because the companies themselves are actually pretty bad.
Well, I had a point that I was gonna puke out, and I forgot what I was gonna say. So
It had something to do with his up the hill struggle, maybe. I don't know.
what is this word salad?
I don't know.
Because the thing. Oh, that's what it is.
Tom, my comments are not showing up.
That if you've ever heard psychotic ranting, that goes nowhere. It goes nowhere.
Yeah, that's what do they call that? Rage baiting or something?
Well, no, I
This
mean,
guy
like,
looks like.
yeah, like just a psychotic rambling. You know, you're like,
Yeah.
where is it? You know, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't go
Or
anywhere.
a lot of the times they'll do it that way. They do it enough to get you to talk about it, and they want you to say their name and all that.
And I've seen enough people that were acutely psychotic that they don't make sense. Their stories
Yeah.
don't make sense. You know, the paranoia, the rambling, the words
Sure.
that don't exist. And you see it, you know. When somebody points at you with a finger,
Oh.
you know, you're like, dude.
You got this.
You know, like, whoa, back
Yeah.
it up.
Yeah.
So that's why I mean,
And poor boy, I will at you.
and so no certainty, but close enough.
Right.
Like I am confident the sun isn't going to blow up, and that we'll have a
In the
night
near
tonight.
future.
And then, you know, I mean, it theoretically could without warning, but that is cosmological theory doesn't really support that.
Well, it sounds like you don't disagree.
No, I mean, it would be highly unexpected. Like, well, it's like the idea of the certain. If there's so much space in between atoms, why can't you just walk through the wall? And a physicist said, well, the likelihood is such that it's so low that we could say it's zero. I mean, you know,
Yeah.
one chance in a billion.
So the vision has a way of defeating that probability.
What?
The Vision is a comic book superhero that can walk through walls.
Oh yeah, I thought you said division, and I'm like, huh? But that's the whole idea. That's why it's fiction.
Yeah.
You fictional fiction. Okay. So what's our next one? Are you done
Integrity.
chewing that up?
Yeah, unless anybody else has anything to say about leading a life of uncertainty.
I
Well,
think that
I think it's a given, right?
yeah, I think
It's a
everyone
given.
realizes
There's an old
that
song that
yeah.
says that. The song says, "No one knows at sunset how the next day will begin, and no one knows at sunrise how your day is going to end."
Thank you.
exactly.
I like that.
And then you can
God
spend
directs our stops.
you can spend your whole life being a wallflower and do nothing. But as I've said many times, that once you step into the middle of the room, any way you turn, somebody's looking at your ass.
Yeah.
So you know what? Don't try to please everyone because you'll please no one, and just accept that there's some people that ain't going to dig you.
Yeah. The more and more you'd be a yes man or you try to please everyone, the more and more you're going to hurt yourself and let yourself down. I know from experience. I've tried it, done it.
Sal, Vanessa is referencing Jesus.
Okay, so
I mean, Vanessa is falling apart. Yeah,
me,
that
Sam, I want to talk about the geopolitical situation in Brazil.
I know nothing about what's going on in Brazil. Lula, maybe.
Well,
I don't know.
I did hear that there's like 3,000 tanks that were bought by Brazil that are like that they don't know why they would need those. So that there's like a theory that
The president is bailing out Brazil because he's in favor. Yeah.
Well, the bigger problem is Argentina, not Brazil, but Argentina, because. So, do you know how many soybeans the Chinese had bought from the U.S. this season? 0. Do you know where they're buying it from?
Brazil.
Argentina. That got the $20 billion that Dumb Donnie gave them.
And Argentina government gave it to the farmers. Farmers were able to lower their price so low that China had to say, of course we're going to buy them from you.
But
Okay.
and so they're taking our business, and he's giving them the money. The guy is the most corrupt son of a bitch in the Western world, and he smells like literal shit because he's wearing a diaper. That's the thing. And you know that what is the one defense to slander?
truth.
More talk.
The truth. The
Sure.
truth.
Oh,
And you know that's like Adam Kinzinger said that when you stand near him, he smells like a mix of high-end products, expensive but tacky cologne, high-end makeup products, expensive but tacky cologne, and ass. And yeah, and
Interesting mix.
yeah, and the guy smells like literal shit. I don't understand how these world leaders could sit next to him and not make that face like. Because he said it's
I haven't read anything about the U.S. bailing out Argentina. I have to read that, but I did see where the current administration is bailing out Brazil. I'd have to go look some more of that up. I know the story of, I mean, Argentina is an it nation to be considered, but I don't know all the details on.
How come they don't bail us out? I mean, I don't do politics, because no matter who's running this country, seems to be not great. Mm-hmm. They don't take care of our vets enough. First of all, I don't like they only get 1 day and 15% discount in the store. That's what they get. No, I'm not trying to get political, but as far as bailing people out or homeless, there's a lot of things here that need bailing out. That not getting nearly enough. Addiction, alcohol recovery, none of that gets enough aid and attention as it really should.
Well, the solution, according to representatives of this administration, is 700,000 homeless people need to have lethal injection. I ain't making that up.
No, I believe just like COVID was population control, if you ask me, but we won't go there either. But I get it. Yeah, it's a sad situation.
Well,
Yeah.
COVID.
But I think my nephew told me that if everyone gave the same as much as I do percentage-wise from what they get in, that there would be no homelessness. But people are too busy going to football games and paying for tickets and doing things that just interest them without considering the feelings or the sufferings of other people, that they don't take the time to do what would be best. And I don't recommend giving it to charitable organizations because the CEOs tend to make a lot of money. So I would, in general, unless it's well researched, I would just give it directly to people.
Well, that's why you go to Charity Watch and see, just read the numbers there, so you can know who's good and who isn't.
Okay.
Yeah, because when you have names that are close to each other, you could get the wrong one. But, well,
housing is not affordable. A lot of people are homeless because they can't afford a home.
I don't know. But they can't rent either.
No, rent is too high. Rent is obscene.
The rent is too damn high. That guy with the beard.
It's true.
Yeah, no, it is.
No, there's a certain...
Watching since I have to say this, since COVID, and maybe a year or so before COVID, with so many different investments coming from not local, the rents have on my street alone, and I have 2 daughters, adult daughters, and the rents are skyrocketing. And I think it's not just a Buffalo issue; it's a national.
Yeah.
Yes,
problem.
it is.
And not to mention,
I agree.
the food stamps and the PNA that people get, the personal needs allowance, cash assistance, whatever. What is that? I mean, that's not going to cover their rent. That's not going to cover half their rent. And I'm talking about people that physically or mentally, for whatever reason, cannot work.
Yeah.
And didn't get to work to have a 401k or retirement plan. Here's a couple $100. Hope it lasts you the month. So,
it's a joke.
Then there are those, veterans alike and non-veterans, that have opportunities to go get help but don't. They choose not to. Those people, I can't speak for them, but I can say, this, as far as encouragement goes and bailing people and helping people, the ones that need it, that go for it. There's others that complain but don't do anything about their situation too.
Well, there is a percentage, but I don't know what it is, but I know it does exist, of homeless people that they are there by choice.
Absolutely.
40%.
They are by choice, and it's not minuscule. So to say that...
I heard it was 40%.
No, you're absolutely right. I wasn't,
40%.
And for whatever reason, the wanderlust or poriomania, that's pathological wandering.
Well, they don't want to deal with all the stuff you got to deal with as a person that follows all the rules. And if you follow all the rules, you're going to have to you're going to have to jump through hoops. You got to pay rent every month. You got to get money to come in. You got to. It's like there's a lot you got to do to maintain what people would say is a normal life.
Well, money can't buy happiness, but it sure insulates the bad times.
Yeah.
So you're not.
Well,
I don't think
second.
I don't think you're implying we treat all homeless people as if they're doing it by choice.
Right, no.
No, but I'm saying that there is a number. You can't say that they're all people that have been dispossessed from their houses. I mean, it's a spectrum.
Yeah.
And you can't say, "Damn it, I'm going to help you," and make somebody. House somebody that doesn't
What
want
about
to
the
be
60% then?
Yeah, what about the percentage where like he said 50? How do we know it's not 90-10?
I don't think it's that high. Did anybody
I
see
said
that movie
60-40.
that,
I said 60 want housing, 40%
did anyone
don't.
see
That's
the
what I
movie
heard.
that Lucille Ball made? About a homeless woman?
No, I haven't.
I know what
Did
you're
anyone
talking
see
about.
the,
Yeah, my mother would know. I don't know.
Yeah, and she represented a characteristic of the person that Jason is talking about. She she was mentally not prepared to be in a shelter or be off the street, and
No,
her
we're still
family
on the
was
topics
trying
list.
to make her not be homeless, and so I think she was not there because she couldn't be there. So you would say, oh, she was homeless by choice, but I think she was homeless she was unable or incapacitated to understand and live by the restrictions or demands of not being homeless.
Right.
Exactly. That's a good
that
way of
makes
saying what I
sense.
Okay.
said.
Just real quick, I just want to say we're still on the topics list, but it's an open discussion as well.
Yeah, that
They asked about the topic list. We're still
right.
there.
I saw that. So because we got to keep rocking and rolling. So who's your friend Joe? His topic of putting yourself in someone's shoes, because if it's
We skipped them. We had integrity.
I didn't get that.
Oh well.
So what is it? Share.
Living
Share.
with integrity. So I think it's talked about more than it's done.
That's definitely true.
I become a man of integrity more and more over the years, and I used to say I was, but I wasn't. Doing some healing and some self-reflection. Now I have integrity, and I'm happy about it. But I don't. When it's bragged about, and then it's not done, I feel like there's a lot of that going on, and I feel like it's more and more with the young, really. But
Well, do you know who's the first person recorded to say that the kids are a waste? Aristotle. So they always said that
Yeah.
youth is wasted on the
Yes.
young. And that's the first recorded. So I'm sure they've been saying it the whole time.
Sure.
And
That's how we got sophomore come, right? Sophomoric from the ancient Greeks.
and you know, you're appreciated for what you can contribute, not what you can't.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, if I tell you every day I'm going to give you $10 tomorrow and I never do, but you're going to say, you know, I'm full of shit. But if I give you $2, that $2 is $2 you didn't have
Yes.
versus the 10 that you'll never get.
Right. Right.
So that's the integrity.
But if you need $5, then what does that get you?
That is a separate. That's just. So integrity is just being honest with yourself and really being honest with yourself.
And being honest with others.
The reason I brought up, I think it's more important today more than ever because there's just so much happening behind closed doors. I'm not just meaning political, I mean in general. And it's affecting more and more people now.
Well, I was thinking of the song "Grow Up Tomorrow" by the Beaches, because there's a line that I'm an artist, but I'm really just a piece of shit.
Yeah, right.
You know, not much of an artist, just a
Yeah.
slacker living on a couch.
When I hear the word integrity, I think of Grover Cleveland. You know about the Grover Cleveland scandal?
About his facial thing going out to sea. He have a kid out of wedlock.
Aha, that's what you heard, huh? Okay, so here's the story. He started liking a woman who's a seamstress, and he started having an affair with her.
Okay.
And so she eventually had a kid. And the other party, he was a Democrat, so the Republicans said, Grover, that's your kid. And he said, no, it's not my kid. And they said, yes, it is, because you were having an affair with her. Well, when the kid is born, the kid is given a name. I'll just make up a name because I don't remember what the name was. Joe Anderson Cleveland. Isn't that kind of a strange name?
Yeah.
Considering that Joe Anderson was Grover Cleveland's best friend. So the press went to Joe Anderson and they said, why does the kid have your name before Cleveland? And Joe Anderson said, probably because I never told my best friend this, but I was having an affair with her at the same time. Do you know that until his death, Grover Cleveland, he never ratted out his friend?
Yes.
He never ratted him out. And as the kid was growing up, Grover Cleveland sending money all the time to make sure the kid has the best of everything. Send this kid to college, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's
They
integrity.
had a house on the west side.
Yeah.
A historian will take you and show you where the house is on the west side that he provided for her.
Yeah, Stephen Grover
Wow.
Cleveland.
Christmas tree.
Didn't know that.
Yeah. Well, he also had to hang a man as Erie County Sheriff.
Yeah.
So we got to keep rocking and rolling. We're 3/4 of the way through the show.
How does that impact on integrity? What are you saying about integrity by saying all that?
Saying what?
The stories you just gave.
Well, did Grover Cleveland have integrity?
To a certain
Yes.
degree, yes.
Even though
Yeah.
he couldn't authenticate the child, he was willing not to let the child suffer.
Good.
And
Okay.
considering that the most biting satirist in the country when Grover Cleveland was alive was H.L. Mencken, you know what Mencken wrote about Cleveland in his obituary? Of all the people I've ever met who are politicians, Cleveland had the most integrity.
Okay.
Now you know Mencken, he would bring anybody down if he could. He couldn't think of anything bad to say about him.
Well, D.C. is for people too ugly for Hollywood. And anybody smart enough to make a difference is too smart to run for office. They're a bunch of nitwits. I mean, the one who debases himself the most is that guy from Louisiana, the Speaker of the House, Johnson. You know, if
Johnson?
Johnson and Scalise, if they were anywhere else, they couldn't get elected. They have to have. Louisiana has one of the lowest literacy rates rurally. You know that in the cities they're literate, but they thrive on uneducated voters.
Okay.
Put police in there, throw Thomas in there with him.
And so now we have because we have more topics to rip into. So putting yourself in someone's shoes.
That was your topic, wasn't it?
No, it
Integrity.
was Joe Lebosco's
Okay.
topic.
You
Yeah.
want to talk for Joe?
I'm sure I'll try. I think when you're trying to criticize somebody else, you should try to put yourself in their shoes to try to understand why they think the way they think, because I think it's important to find some way to have like an understanding or some type of overlap in consideration. So, but I think what you went through as an ER doctor, I think that's I can see why you're impacted the way you are.
When you see the bottom 2% all the time, you extrapolate that to the world at large, and you think everybody sucks because the people you see every day suck.
Okay.
And Jason wrote something to me today. He said, the people who are in his line of work, who are still there, they have a strategy for how to forget everything at the end of the day.
Okay.
But not everybody is able to do that.
Right.
And that's really it, because you have to have a strong support structure, because there is one estimate that 17% of ER docs fit the criteria for PTSD. Just like doctors overall, the same percentage, 17% are impaired in some way, either by alcohol, psychiatrically, financially. But doctors, we're not all playing golf on Saturdays and, doing it all for the money.
Right.
No, that your doctor in the office is talking to you. He's not looking at your money or however much, and that's why being a pediatrician is a labor of love, because, if you want to wear a bow tie and drive a Honda Accord, become a pediatrician.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
going to ask my niece about that. She's a registered nurse. She's an ER nurse. And that's a subject I've never discussed with her. I'll see how she
Which one?
responds to something
Which?
like-
Because it depends on where she works. You know that there was a time.
She's in Washington, D.C.
Oh goodness.
Yeah. And she's an ER nurse.
Yeah.
And I've never had this discussion with her. It's an interesting question.
Well, if it's treated as the convenience department, because I am not trained in internal medicine. I can't manage your blood pressure. I can manage your pressure if you're popping blood vessels and you're about to die. I can bulldog my way through bringing your pressure down, but I don't. That's not my thing, and people try to treat it like that. I can't manage your asthma regularly. I can give you an albuterol. I'm not going to write you for Inspira and things like that. I'm not good at that, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, but in any case,
I think we're doing good. So let's.
okay. So our next topic is from Dan, who, flag burning. Short
Okay.
story.
Oh.
Okay, so this weekend at the University of Virginia, they're having a flag burning party. Hot dogs, hamburgers, and the burning of a flag. My friend is a Trump cultist.
Mm-hmm.
He's outraged.
Well,
Any comments?
I
know
can see
what?
both sides because I look back at the 60s and I had been learning about it as a younger person, and there were the love and peace and all that, and they were burning flags because they were protesting against the establishment. And so I learned that could be valuable because they're trying to bring attention to issues that they find important to them. But however, when you look at the American
I'm
flag,
gonna hang up because I'm on a Zoom.
okay. So if you burn an American flag, are you attacking the ideals of the country? Because I think the ideals that the country supposedly shoots for are good ideals. So I guess that's why I can see both sides.
Well, real quick, did you know it's also a lot of people think it's illegal and it's a crime. It's not. It's actually protected under the First Amendment
Yeah.
to burn the American flag, and sometimes it's ceremonial and sometimes it's mockery. So to answer your question, it really depends on the situation. Is it because that flag represented somebody that passed away during the war, during military times? Did that flag just touch the ground and they're doing it out of respect, or are they doing it to mock the U.S.? So it really depends on the situation.
And that's absolutely right. You know that. But just because it's legal, don't be surprised if somebody punches you in the face.
Yeah, of course.
But it's legal. You're not going to get arrested, and then
Right.
that person who punches you can get arrested.
Yes.
But if you're and that's the difference between morality and legality.
Yeah.
So in
Yeah.
the 1970s, there were two movements diverging in popular music. One was the people who like rock music, and the other was the people who like disco.
Okay.
So a DJ in Chicago got an idea. What is the symbol of disco? Well, obviously it's disco records.
Oh, that was Cleveland.
So he had an event at a baseball stadium.
Yeah.
We got hundreds and hundreds of disco records. I bet you they weren't all disco records. But he got hundreds and hundreds of supposed records that were disco, and he blew them up.
Oh.
Okay? I have no problem with that. You take a symbol, and then you react to the symbol.
Well, you remember in Mission Impossible 3 when the one guy says,
What was the
"I
value
will-"
of the symbol, though?
How much he hated disco. He blew up the
No,
records.
not blowing it up, saying that you hate it that much. But what did disco represent that was to be hated?
I think it's just the musical style. I don't think there was a deeper thing.
Right.
Just
Then,
didn't.
then that doesn't really matter. Blow them up all you want.
Well, believe it or not, there were people at the time who said to the rock and rollers, the reason you hate disco is because black people like it. You ever hear that, Celeste?
No, that's
Yeah.
deep.
Yeah.
That's deep.
Because some of
Yeah.
the greatest disco stars,
Or white.
Let's Go
PG,
Down to
John
Summer,
Travolta.
and Let's Go Other People were members of the African American community. And yes.
Okay.
And I say a note to the flag. We have a Supreme Court judge who was comfortable enough to hang the American flag upside down
Well, and
on
also,
his house.
you know that Clarence Thomas has a white wife.
So I'm not gonna.
Because the reason why
yeah,
I'm,
she believes in January 6th.
yeah, and the reason I mentioned that is the case that Ruth Bader Ginsburg made her career on was making the senior military colleges go co-ed. And Clarence Thomas had to recuse himself because that's back when he had some class because he was just new on the court because his son Jamal was a cadet at VMI. He was there after I got out.
That dude never had a class. When I think of him, during a certain period of time, he never would have been elected to the Supreme Court. We have to remember he was embroiled in scandal.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to get his nomination for the Supreme Court.
Long Dong
So
Silver.
he was never a favorite, and he's been a bump on a log ever since he got there.
I disagree. I think he's a rotten apple, but he's not a bump on a log. He's a active rotten apple.
Active rotten apple.
Yeah,
Well,
he's.
I've looked at some of his opinions, and they're somewhat obscure, and they dovetail onto other people's thoughts. So we know he's there for the money. We know he accepts bribes. We know Scalia is
No, Alito.
not interested in equality and certainly not equity. I mean, there is a difference between the two. So I have to say, he's just, he's what we call go along to get along.
Ooh, okay.
And,
Fake it till you make
enshrouded
it.
in.
Okay, well, we only have 4 minutes left, so I gotta keep ripping and tearing.
Okay.
So the last one we have here is Mick. So Mick, I hope you're listening. Also, does Mick speak Welsh? Is he the one who? Oh, okay. Well, why do some people act like children over things they can't control? It's control. That's just it. They act like children because they can't control it. I mean, they regress because that's what it is. You show your ass when you can't have your way.
Yeah.
I think that's rather straightforward.
I mean, and I think because sometimes people have it in their mind already that they're going to get their way, and they have all these
Right,
plans.
my way or the highway.
They have these plans they sat and resonated with, and then once they find out that it can't go that way, they take that aggression of all the time they used to plan this or whatever to have their way, and now they just got shut down. So I think that's part of it.
Well, and also that's what you get to ad hominems, like the misogyny and the dead naming.
Yeah.
That's why you do that when you don't have any good arguments.
Right.
When you don't have a good argument, you say, well, you're fat and you're ugly and you're old. Dude. That doesn't add to the
Sure.
discussion.
That's that's
Yeah, that's called, in logic, that's called an ad hominem.
Yeah.
So when I said to my friend, read what Bernie Sanders wrote about the government shutdown, beautifully written. And I sent it to him, and he didn't respond.
The
So
most
I-
recent?
Very recent.
Yeah, the one that's
Okay.
going on now.
Yeah.
That's I was asking that, yeah.
Yep. And so I said again, did you read what Bernie Sanders wrote? And he came back with an ad hominem. He said, I will never read what a millionaire senator posts. How stupid.
Wow.
Hi, my mind is closed.
Yeah.
Not open for business.
yeah.
Just like the government. I know a guy who is
What's
a
the point of that? What are you saying by saying that?
That he's committing a logical fallacy.
And closed-minded to any other opinions.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean,
think words should be based on-
if a janitor comes up to you and says, "Sal, I think that if you keep smoking, you're going to increase your risk of lung cancer," and you come back with an ad hominem, you're just a janitor. See what I mean?
Yeah,
You're discounting everything he says rather than what he says.
Yes.
Right. So I believe in the value of words. So whatever anyone says should be valued based on the value of those words.
It should be ad argumentum, not ad hominem. Ad hominem means to the man.
Yeah, you're talking about
Okay.
being impeccable with your words, and that's important too. But
You could also be peccable.
yes.
But you know what's not a word? Ept. Like from inept. Ept is not a word.
What does it mean?
It doesn't.
No.
It's not a word. But peccable means dirty.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so that's a short story. So we have a minute and a half left. Anybody gets 15 seconds. That's all you get. It's 15 seconds. Say anything.
Okay, now Riven sent us topics.
Oh.
But she's not leaving comments.
So we don't know.
Well, what we should do,
Is hunt her down and kill her.
no, I'll say to people, look, send us topics, and we will read them at the end, unless you are leaving comments, and then you get pushed up.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
fair enough.
Right?
Okay.
That's like doing Reddit. That's like Reddit.
It's like when they have open poetry readings, right? And somebody comes and signs up to be on a list first. They read their poem and they leave.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't care about what other people say. You know what I mean?
And no, I just want to say I'm grateful to be here. I appreciate you guys, and maybe I can come back next week if I'm not working.
get your ass back and be ready to be ripped up.
I'm ready. I appreciate it.
I
man.
mean, this is not for the weak of heart, no matter
Yeah.
what Vanessa says. But hey, all I know is we're here.
Yeah, I haven't even met Vanessa. I've heard about her, but I never met her. So
Well-
I wouldn't know.
I love the fact Vanessa's leaving all these comments. I
Yeah.
wish they were easier to understand because they're very fragmented.
Well, I saw something high on shroomies. I've never had a magic mushroom ever.
Me either, but
Yeah, but I've lived more life than you, Sal. And
that's true.
Oh man.
with that, have a great weekend, y'all. I'm
Have a good
releasing you
weekend.
from your
Take care.
prison.